Good morning to everybody. Hello. Welcome
Hello. Hello.
welcome to the Coffee Table Talks. Today we have Carrie Randolph, a senior security leader from Go Security Pro. I practiced it like 20 times this morning. I swear, it still messed it up. It's great. It only took me like 2 years to introduce Will correctly. And sometimes I still screw that up. That's awesome. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Rachel Arnold. I am the Human API with Secure Nation. This is Will McCullen. Wave. There you go. The program manager at the IT Center for Excellence at PIMA Community College in Tucson, Arizona. See that?
Well done.
Dead. And Carrie Randolph.
Hi.
Tell everybody hi. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning, class.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm excited, Carrie, that you're here because we got to meet in person. It's not all the time that I get to meet coffee table talk guests in person first. A lot of times it'll be a virtual coffee that I'll set up just because I'm curious about who you are as a person. So if you see me reaching out and going, hey, do you want virtual coffee? It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to force you to be a guest on this show, but it's a possibility. Just so everybody's aware. Carrie was speaking at NOLACon, which I almost screwed up. I even wrote down in my notes. You met her at B-Sides, dummy, like it says it on my notebook. And it's not. And it's because I screwed up your volunteer stuff with B-Sides Oklahoma and your presence at NOLACon last May, and where you did a speaking engagement. What was your topic about?
My topic was how to get your C-suite on board with cybersecurity and how you can leverage your compliance requirements and also your incidents to build your cybersecurity program and explain how these different program elements that are important for you to implement, explain why those are important in a way that executives will understand. We all understand the security impact, but can we articulate what is the business impact? To like business processes internally and also to your customers, your constituents.
Gotcha. Sorry. Our moderator, Meg, is normally here, and she took a vacation day today.
How dare she?
I see that there is a person named Kamal in our chat that has decided to post a link to something and didn't ask me permission first. Consent is key, Kamal. You just got blocked. Don't do that, okay? Housekeeping rules. Please feel free to chat. Do not advertise. This is an unsponsored podcast. Thank you very much.
Spam. Right?
That's how that goes. Thank you, Will. Everybody say a lot of things, so we push that link on down the chat. Thanks so much. So that, Carrie, that is amazing, by the way. And I know there are a lot of security leaders and practitioners out there that struggle with communicating the like all of their, we really need this in a way that's palatable for the C-suite and above, right? For the decision makers that are going to award them budget or any other sort of resourcing, right? That they need to build these things and to make a safe environment for everybody to work, play, and live with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's the biggest like gap that you see? What is the thing that they often, you feel like you have the best advice to correct the most? Does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
Are they talking too much jargon? Is it too much, are they too deep into the technical pieces and not translating well with how that, like outside of InfoSec? I call that getting off of InfoSec Island.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to speak the language of the other islanders. Like, don't just speak in InfoSec. So anyway, yes. What are your thoughts there? What have you seen?
The biggest thing I see is, you know how teenagers and children have, I can't think of the name of the effect, but it's like the idea that like, I'll never get hurt. I'm going to go do this crazy thing because, that'll never happen to me. That'll never get hurt.
Right.
I see different businesses operating in a scope of like, that'll never happen to us. The malicious actors are only going after the Lockheed Martins, the Boeings. It's like, why would they come after, this little small, we only operate in our state. Why would they come after our data? And it's the miseducation and the understanding that the malicious actors are no longer going after like the valuable data. They still are, but there are also groups that's their business, and they're not looking for like valuable data. It's how valuable is your data to you. And it's like that is the driver. And it's if you are Fortune 500, or if you are a smaller organization that only maybe operate maybe a small electric co-op that only works in that particular state, it's how valuable is your data to you, or how impactful could that be to the community or an organization, depending on what the source and what the motive of the attack is. But that's the biggest piece for me to get through, is executives understanding that everyone is a target. I've had executives say to me, well, who cares if they get our data? We don't care if it's published out there. It's like, really? Do you think your customers would care? How does that affect your reputation? And
right. Yeah.
Piece is also another thing that I think executives don't always fully process, is that it's not just what is the likelihood of something that's going to happen, but if it does happen, how does that affect business moving forward? And on the flip side, I think a lot of security people get intense and they're concerned about their environments. They want to do the right thing and protect them. And they're like, why can't you see this? And it's like, how can you articulate the business reason? And like the cool sexy term I like to use is like reverse engineer what other people's need to hear. But what that means is just think about what other people need to hear. What does your CFO need to hear to understand this is why the security thing is important? We have this system with how many records of regulated data, whether it's PHI, PII, PCI, whatever it is. What is the cost per data breach? If this server becomes compromised, how much is that going to cost us? What is the dollar amount associated with this one system alone? Or like, what does HR need to hear? Do we need to hear like, hey, we need to do better on user access provisioning, and we like how we assign people access rights and how we onboard, offboard, do terminations? Have we terminated people and IT doesn't know to disable their accounts until 30 days later? So it's like, how do all of these different business processes affect security, and how do they affect the business? And with security, sometimes in our mindset of protecting, we like, why can't you understand that we need to protect this? But we forget, if there's not a business, we don't have anything to protect. So it's like, hey, I really want this $1 million, 6-figure, 5-figure solution, but is that feasible for the business? I once failed. I had a professor try to fail me on an assignment in college because it was write out a mobile device policy for a company, and the company was scoped with like 5 employees. And every MDM solution at the time was 5 figures. So my report was, our MDM policy is that we don't support BYOD. We don't support this because it's not within our budget. And I tried to explain to my professor, you give me a scenario with a 5-person company. Why would I spend 20 grand on an MDM solution? I had to fight for that grade, but I wound up getting it.
Nice.
Yeah, I bet, just a guess, you probably have this great, very quick lesson on what a business impact analysis is.
I do. But as the GRC person that I am, I am very much a strong adamant and a strong proponent of everyone needs to start with a risk assessment. Now, like if you haven't done a BIA, I'm going to have a BIA as a finding on your risk assessment. But a risk assessment is a great place to start, because if it's scoped right, I think is the key. And if you take an org-wide approach to your risk assessment, and particularly in hospitals, what I see is they have really good patient risk management programs and standards and procedures, but they haven't all done as well on their IT or cybersecurity or full-on business risk management. And if we take those same principles from business or patient risk management and apply them, use those same standards, and how are we going to, define impact and likelihood? How are we going to manage this to IT? Then a lot of businesses already have their roadmap. They just got to pick it up and shift it and tweak it a little bit to fit IT and cybersecurity.
Yeah, spread the joy.
Yeah. It's like
we're also going to hear somebody talk about risk assessments, like spread the joy. Only you, baby.
Hey,
So another part, and I'm just guessing here, you've a fantastic, warm individual. How much do you spend your time when you walk into, say, like IT shops, trying to convince them, hey, I'm your ally. I'm here to help you. I'm not your enemy. I'm not trying to make your job harder.
okay.
I'm here to help.
So announcement time. I'm surprising Rachel here too. So I have been accepted to speak at B-Sides Las Vegas this year.
Congrats.
As a B-Sides co-founder, and I've taken this as the co-founding team in B-Sides Oklahoma. We tried to be really, really cautious with our speaker selection. So all of the organizers have done speaking engagements, but we try to okay, we're going to be on reserve in case there's last minute. We try not to speak at our own conference. So as a B-Sides co-founder who's never actually spoken at my own B-Sides event, I'm super stoked. Oh my God, I'm speaking at B-Sides Las Vegas. I'm fangirled, geek girled out, hardcore. But my talk at B-Sides Las Vegas is going to be titled Hacking Trust Establishment. So if you want to come out to B-Sides Las Vegas, I would be more than happy to tell you all of the white hat and black hat ways and reasons, motives that you can hack, how to quickly establish trust with individuals. And on a high level, what it really comes down to is two types of trust. And I'm totally flaking on my talk right now.
You're fine. That's fine. Well, we didn't talk about what you were going to do. And plus, you just dropped a bomb.
Uh-oh.
Did we just lose Rachel's audio a little bit?
Yep. Rachel, your audio just went. You're now in squirrel mode.
I just presented a shiny. This is perfect. Carrie presented a shiny. Rachel goes squirrel mode. Perfect. Perfect.
That never happens on this show.
I'm just that amazing. What can I say?
I think Rachel has
broken Rachel.
Squirrel. Ah, yes, those drivers. Every once in a while, it'll freak out. And
oh gosh, don't try to talk about spit coffee.
Squeak.
She was mouthing her words, but the giggles still came through as the squeaks. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's always fun, and many times it takes a quick restart. But
I guess just to kind of keep a little bit of flow and momentum, when I speak about reverse engineering what others need, that's one way you can quickly establish trust. If you're a security leader and you keep getting failures on you're pitching your ideas to the executive team and they just don't get it, or you're not getting the budget that you need to do these critical things. Think about how you're talking about things to your executives. Are you being very negative because you want to educate the problem? It's a very popular tactic to talk to your executives, leading in fear. Hey, did you see so-and-so in our industry that, just down the road, they got hacked too, and make it real for them. But, how can you find those points and bring it back to the business? One thing that I like to do is look at the organization's strategic goals. And as silly as it might seem, but how can you align your cybersecurity projects with the organization's strategic goals and say, this is how my project supports the business, not just brings in a security factor. It's not just the paranoid, skeptical security person that we need this extra layer of protection. Please, please, please. It's no, this is good for us. And here's why. And being candid about it and focusing on the solution, and let that positivity from the solution flow through, and not the negativity thinking about the problem. We're on the verge of getting hacked. Y'all just don't know it.
I'm scared to test.
No, you're there.
Okay, great. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to say stuff now. Oh no. Okay.
But yeah, that's spot on. And also when you phrasing it in a different way, right? Mm-hmm. Because it becomes just droning noise if it's the same type of message all the time. And that's where, unfortunately, a lot of folks who at the beginning, fear, uncertainty, and doubt has been a tool in the past. it now falls into the background noise. That, and also with however the numerous hacks that are been going on.
It's like alert fatigue, but FUD fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody's like, and then, I mean, and think about all of the like just globally terrifying things that have gone on in the last, I don't know, 25 years. At this point, I don't know about you guys, but I feel dead inside. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm like, shoo fly, don't bother me. Like, I have no concept of terror anymore in my life. Like, I'm afraid of nothing. It's
well,
sad.
then it turns into sympathy, right? Like today, poor team viewer, those folks those IT departments are now trying to unravel their whole infrastructure to find out how the Russians did what they're doing and all that. That's hard. And then you spread that out to a whole customer base. Mm-hmm. So how much do you focus on like teamwork? Because this is where in this whole industry, we have to get more teamwork going on, because things can innervate so many different items, so many different customers. Is that a big part of your pitch as well?
Yes. So one type of trust is called effective trust. So it's thinking about how people trust you. And, are you capable? Are you candid? Are you consistent? So it's how you care for people. And like one example I'll throw at you, that's like a little bit of a tangent, change management. How many people hate change management?
I love it. I love it when it's broken and I come in and I go, we need to fix it. Like, I get excited. Okay, look at me. I'm excited now. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Okay, so my big driver in life, we're going to get to your question, Jacob. I swear. It's in the parking lot, okay?
Yeah, I noticed it too.
You said the magic word. It's the word of the day. Change management. Oh my gosh. Do you know how fun it is to walk into a client that's like, hey, Rachel, we need some help looking at our contracts and understanding where we might be able to make smart consolidations, where we might need to renegotiate, where we might need to reassess whether or not these products and professional services are still meeting our technical and functional requirements. I say this so often, it's in my sleep. Okay. So one of the first things I do once I've gathered all of the contracting together and I'm looking at it, I immediately start looking at what users have what access to what tools. And do you know how often it is that there are like 20 licenses extra that you're paying for that nobody even works there anymore? Those people don't work there anymore. Why are you buying more licenses? Well, we had new people come on. Why are you not decommissioning those licenses and reassigning them? Did you not know you could do that? Stop burning money. No wonder your CFO doesn't want to give you any more. Okay.
Breathe.
Rant. Yeah, do I talk like that in front of the teams? I'm like, no, let's responsibly realign some of these into a more efficient ways for the efficacy of the total program to continue to be positive.
I once had a client, like he was telling me, it was a sysadmin telling me where all the skeletons were buried. And I'm just kind of calmly taking my notes. And he's like, I don't ever want to play poker with you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I just told you all of this and you haven't made like a single face. You haven't scolded me. And I'm like, that's not what I'm here for.
This is a listening activity.
I will scold you when you get your report, when I also give you, here's a helpful recommendation of how you can fix this.
So
okay, wait, we got to get to Jacob's question. We got to. Okay.
I was going to ask if you guys do like questions at the end or in the line.
We do it as we go. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
We just
do everything as we go.
Yeah, we do it. We do everything.
Love it.
We make it up as we go. So Jacob Lewis from LinkedIn. Hi, Jacob. Good morning. From a macro level, how do you convince different departments that InfoSec should be seen as a critical business function apart from just a cost center, right? How do you go, we don't just cost money, we're good things?
Okay, that's a hard question. And for some people, you're not going to be able to convince them unless you just grow on them. And this is where consistency comes in. I don't care if you think we're worthless. I'm still going to keep providing outstanding service. I'm going to be consistent. You got a problem, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it within the SLA every time. I'm going to come fix your problem, and I'm going to wear you down. That's my tactic. That's my tactic.
I also believe in aggressive optimism.
But now the other part is some people you have to realize you have to meet people where they're at. Some people aren't ready for this. It's like if I go in to do work with people and they tell me, oh, we don't have an incident response plan. Well, I'm not going to start harping on them about why they haven't tested their incident response plan annually. Why aren't you doing tabletops? You don't even have a plan. We need to focus on that first. Meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And maybe they just don't understand. I've had executives, I've had board appointed elected officials be like, it doesn't matter if I click on a link or not. You should have enough stuff in place that it protects us regardless. And I'm like, oh, okay. We need to look into some awareness training for our executives. Let's get some targeted training in place.
Yes, you are correct. We could absolutely lock this down so hard that we just unplug you and then you do no business and make no monies. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me put guardrails in place and then you run along them. Okay. And don't deviate from guardrails. Thanks. Stay on them. It's going to be a good time.
But even thinking of something as simple as, what got Rachel incredibly excited with change management. If you have production environments, it used to always be a joke that on this patch Tuesday, yep, better prepare. The system's going to be down. We're going to try to push out patches and something's going to go wrong, whether it's, with a standardized patch or if it's like with you got a coding team and nope, something with code was right. It didn't get QA'd properly, or we missed a UAT piece. If you're pushing out change management and you're having to consistently do your rollback plans and there's degradations in service and there's issues, your people are going to start thinking that you don't care. You don't care enough to make sure that the system is running right because you don't understand the business or understand the business function. And there may be like one little program that a department uses, right? And it's like, oh man, from a big picture perspective, IT is taking care of the whole organization. That one little program, that might be like 2% of the business. But for that department, it's 100% of their business. And if you don't prioritize for that department, then that department's going to think IT doesn't care about us because they don't understand. They're looking at their specific thing. So when you meet people where they are, think about where they're at. And, and like Will mentioned a BIA, if you're going to look at an organization BIA, you've got your forms from all the different departments. Somewhere in an executive level, when you've got 20 different departments and you've got 20 number ones, somebody's got to make the decision on, oh, well, wait, none of this stuff will work if we don't get the domain up first. Nobody's not going to be doing anything if we don't get email up first. Sorry, your system's not going to come back up first. We need the domain first. But it's like somebody has to make a decision that like one department's number one has higher priority than another department's number one. And to me, it's a consistency thing. And it's how can you show ways that you just don't care about your IT systems, but that you understand the business and that you care about how IT facilitates other people's work. And that's how I've had success in becoming a trusted advisor, is how can you let people know that you understand and you care about how your work impacts theirs. And that might be an easier way to apply that to many other situations, not just cybersecurity. Think about what other people need and how can you be a compassionate human being for them.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a fantastic point. How often do you find yourself being the person coming in, trying to help the different siloed areas recognize each other as people and recognize each other as we're really needing to help each other to make the whole thing succeed? How often does that come up to where you're bringing an awareness on the people level that hasn't been there for some time?
Yep.
Does that happen on a regular basis? Or?
Oh, I was agreeing with you. Like, as in like, no, that doesn't happen enough. And yeah, that's what needs to happen. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that you were asking a question. It's like, I don't see that happen a lot. I'm starting to see it happen more as security evolves. I dare say, as we see more of an increase of a female presence in the cybersecurity space. That's Carrie's opinion and insinuations, but I also think it's a change in culture. It's, before we all had our own data centers and we were trying to protect our stuff, and it was security through obscurity. And now we know and understand the value in ISACs and sharing information. And hey, we got a hit over here. And like we got situations now where there's different regulatory requirements require you to report in so much time. And if you don't report it, then the malicious actors are going to report you. Like, hey, we know this person got hacked and they didn't report it because we hacked them. So it's like we kind of are forced to share information. And I don't think anyone can dispute the value of a lot of stuff that CISA is doing with publishing like known exploited vulnerabilities, and how can we prioritize the things that are known to be exploited versus this backlog of 100,000 vulnerabilities that we've got sitting in our Qualys or Tenable, Nessus, whatever you're using. Hopefully you're using something.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. With their whole Shields Up program and all that kind of stuff, they are really working hard to try to raise the bar everywhere. They're fantastic work.
Yep. I'm a total Jen Easterly fangirl. I love everything that she's doing right now with CISA. It's outstanding. And I've been seeing like insider threat guidance pamphlets and stuff going out. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I've been thinking about training stuff for that, because that's every business's biggest fear right now. As part of like my template to help understand businesses when I'm doing risk assessment, I have questions that I want to ask leadership. And one of those things is, what is your biggest concern? Every single organization that I talk to, whether it's a nonprofit with 3 or 4 people or an enterprise organization with 30, 40,000 employees, every single one of them is insider threat. So it's the only combat for that is training. I've had people say like, oh, cybersecurity training is a waste and IT should be able to compensate. And it's like, but IT training would have stopped MGM Grand from getting hacked in 10 minutes. Oops, did Carrie just say that out loud? Yeah, I did.
It's not tea, but I'm drinking it. Oh, why you say stuff like that? All right, anybody from MGM, I'm so sorry. I'd be happy to help you because I do pay for my bills with money.
Carrie does a fantastic security training too.
You can definitely throw money at any of us. We will help you. We love you. Isn't that better than like all of the blast posts whenever there's somebody that comes across something though? They're like, look how terrible their blah, 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 blah was. I'm going to post about it on LinkedIn and talk about how trash it is. I'm like, don't do that. No. Don't despair. You know what you should do? Go, if you want to do that, use your researching skills where you pulled that article out of, and instead go research who the people on the security team are and bring them coffee or donuts. Or, they need it.
Yeah.
Give them I don't know, man. Just go give them a hug with permission. We like consent.
Right. Nobody once did those long oh my God. We were helping a company redo their incident response plan, and they wanted something tactical. They wanted something effective. And they had a new CISO, and the CISO said, I want you to add something in there that outlines incident response team rotation every 8 hours. And I'm like, I just met you, but I absolutely adore you.
Are people not doing that? Are they
no.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Whenever I remember running incident response teams, and we were going all weekend. And it's like, okay, 2 a.m. Let's hit back at 6 a.m. Let's see if we've worked through our logs. And at that point, everybody was so tired and sleepy. It's like, how many mistakes were we potentially making because we were brain dead? We were zombies fueled on pizza and donuts and coffee, which is... It's great when you're in college and like you're playing World of Warcraft and you're PvPing for 12 hours straight. But
Carrie, did you play World of Warcraft?
I did. That's how
I met my husband on World of Warcraft.
There's been like 5 or 6 marriages from our guild. There really has. Like, we've been to like other guildmates' weddings.
Wait. Were you Laughing Skull? What was your server?
Whisperwind.
I had a character on Whisperwind for like a second. Were you Alliance?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Trash. No, I'm just kidding. I love you.
I couldn't get there were some pieces with the Horde stuff that it's like, man, I just couldn't get into the storyline. And when WoW Vanilla came back around, I was like, this goes. I'm like, I've got like old like love affair, like, do I want to go back to this old boyfriend kind of thing, and like roll the Horde side and play that whole storyline from Vanilla. And I'm like, No, wait, we just had a baby. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, I haven't played in years because
haven't either.
I have 3 babies. And I'm like, no, mommy can't get into this right now. We play a lot of fun games right now. Like we'll play Fortnite.
Yeah.
By the way, for Epic Games, I am kind of in love with you. Second, we play Bluey. There's a Bluey game that came out. We play that. My kids are 6, 7, and 9. To be fair, okay. So don't judge me.
No, not at all.
Somebody, I did a podcast yesterday interview with May Brooks. Will, you remember May Brooks?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, she's got a podcast called Cybermania, right? It's
Yeah, she had me as a guest.
Clever.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right. She's grabbed my whole friend circle. And we were talking about something. She asked me, one of the questions she asked me was what was I reading or watching or something that's really impacting my life right now? And my answer was Inside Out 2.
Oh, right.
It was like, I draw my inspiration from Pixar. Like, I don't have time to read books. I listen to books right now, but I don't remember their titles or their authors. I remember the story. Like, I'm a mom.
Right.
I don't have time.
So right now, like, I'm so behind. Like, I love gaming, and that's really what got me into tech.
Me too.
Building computers. I was building computers so I could do video games.
Oh, I wasn't doing that. I was getting my husband to build the computer, but I was very interested in making sure that my rig ran smoothly, quickly, efficiently, and safely because I didn't want anybody taking my stuffs. That was it. But yeah, same thing. I derailed the whole conversation on World of Warcraft. That's how things happen around here.
No, you're fine. It's like, I don't know what, at the peak with like 10 million players in its heyday. I mean, there's a bunch of us out there. I'm still connected with so many people that I made friends with. But yeah.
This is where I have to stand embarrassed because mine goes back to mudding and marathon. I don't know if you've ever remember marathon. That's what turned into Bungie eventually.
Was that Atari? Did you make an Atari reference?
No, it actually was on the old Apple OS.
Oh,
8.
Okay. So you
OS 8.
Yeah, okay.
And it was one of the first networking games that you could go around. We could make our own maps.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
I was working in K-12. Okay, so hey everyone, please don't judge. Okay,
we're not. This is a judgment-free zone. This was
well before Columbine, right? And so the only way we could do that with the students to where everyone had a rough idea of the map, we made a map of the school, right?
Right, which now would not be a good plan.
Right.
No.
Don't do that.
But, then...
This is why assessing your risks on a regular basis and reassessing is important.
Thank you. Yes. The risks you accepted yesterday may not be the same risks you accept today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They may have changed. Speaking of risks, hey, is your refrigerator running?
You better go and catch it.
No, because I'm probably going to vote for it.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, I'm sorry. That's my one political thing. I've gone through 115 episodes. I saw that joke this morning, and I was like, that's it. I'm using that today. It's not mine. I didn't write it. But anyway, reassess your risk on a regular basis. It's always a good idea.
I'm biting my tongue so hard right now.
You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. We got to follow the rules.
I'm just going to drink my coffee.
The rules are...
Nothing to say about last night's prime time. Nope, not.
What I'd like to do is see, maybe we could pass through Congress, right? But maybe we could pass a where you have your candidates and then a do-over. Try again.
Like uninstall and reinstall? Like uninstall and reinstall? Like
so, tangent time.
Or just uninstall. Unsubscribe, thanks.
So last year, I challenged myself to get out in the community and do more speaking. And I ran myself ragged a little bit doing speaking opportunities. And then like I found myself in October, which is like crazy busy period for consultancies. And I had been accepted like 3 different conferences, which means like 60 plus hours of work really kind of banked up. And then like, travel to across the country. And it's like, oh no, wait, I'm going to have to retract those submissions. Sorry. Besides Jacksonville, besides Orlando, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to come. But part of that, I got to going to different conferences and also just like different B-sides events across the country. It was seeing how, I'm going to pause. The cool thing about B-sides is that each one is different.
Yeah.
And each event where it's hosted, it's tailored for that community. So like in Oklahoma, we have a lot of government. We have a lot of oil industry. We got a lot of health sector. We get a lot of auditors. We have a different community. But when I went to B-sides, Northern Virginia, the emphasis on policy making and cybersecurity people that want to get out of their cybersecurity job and go into policy making and having an impact on a national level was astounding to me. Some of the panels that they had, and with the think tanks there were tons of people there that threat intel and malware engineering and research, that was their day-to-day job. Where in Oklahoma, we get a lot of blue team and a lot of ops. And it was crazy for me to be like, I'm like, I don't know why I haven't had this thought before of people wanting to get out of cybersecurity and affect policy on a national or international level. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. So sometimes just getting out and going into different cybersecurity communities is so wonderful. And I think like podcasts like this, where you're just talking to different people from different countries and getting different perspectives, can help people in so many different ways. And even if it's not something that you're working on, that little insight or that little tangent from what other people are working on can give you like brain sparks to be like, oh, I could do something else cool over here.
Yeah.
And it's that collaboration and open sharing of ideas and all of it that has, I feel, culture shift happening in cybersecurity, where there's still people who kind of clutch their pearls and, this is my little fiefdom and I'm going to keep my job by being the only person that knows how to do it. Sure, there's that stuff out there still, but I see a much more collaborative space evolving, and I'm all for it.
Me too. If other people don't feel that way, I can definitely help you retrain your social media algorithms, because that's what I do. Mine is a happy feed. Maybe I should do a workshop on that. How to retrain your public social media algorithms to present happiness and stop causing you depression and FOMO.
That would be awesome.
Yes. Fill my feed with like bright, happy stories instead of woe is the world.
There's also right. Okay. So what you were talking about, like events like this one, right? So I also attend other people's webinars and events, especially if you're my friend. I will go and support you and like cheerlead and rah shish kumbaya. I was on one yesterday. I had time yesterday afternoon to join one from the Newspire group. Chris Roberts was on it, and they were talking about something that grabbed my attention. And during part of the webinar, they went into all of the free resources that are available for people to find out if their personal accounts are out, like dark web, right? Like, have I been pwned? Like all these things. And I got to thinking as I was listening to it, I was like, you know what? I need to walk my dad through that. Like, we should do that. And then I thought, wait, how many people don't know how to go find that stuff and figure out how exposed they are?
Yeah.
Right? How many people don't know that? Oh, we should do a workshop, like a live virtual workshop where somebody from the because I got inspired by the Newspire people. So I'm going to grab one of them. Where one of the Newspire people, like, I don't know, volunteer. Who wants to volunteer? Raise your hand right now if you want to volunteer. We will take you through all of the steps to find out how much of you is exposed and then work through locking that back down with all the free stuff. No paid stuff, just free stuff, just stuff the general public can do. Like, that's it. I want to do that workshop.
But what you need to do, Rachel, is you need to find a TikTok granny to do it with. Because people do better when they see themselves in the presenters. That's why we need representation. And like my kid is like so into dancing. She was kind of like, meh, seeing like some YouTube videos about like mambo dancing is her thing right now. She's loving the Latin beat. Oh my gosh. But anyways, I flip it over and I show her like a mambo cha-cha video of like little girls doing a dance competition, and her eyes lit up and it was a whole different thing. Get a TikTok granny, get somebody that looks and sounds like them to give them security training alongside you.
Look, and I might be biased here, but I'm going to pull from the family group first, okay? So it might be my mother-in-law that I pull on. I'm going to be like, hey, Ma.
Do what works, man. You got to use the resources you have available to you across the board.
I think that would be awesome. That would really be a useful thing to have out there and to give reference to.
I know.
Right?
Look, and throw volunteers at me. Like if you got somebody that you think would be willing to volunteer, go tell them. Be like, look, Rachel wants to do this workshop. Reach out to her right here, LinkedIn, right? I don't put my own QR code up here. What is wrong with me? That's terrible. That's the Secure Nation site. Dang. That's scary.
You had my B-Sides QR code the whole time instead of yours.
No, I did. I made yours. Okay. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's fine. Go find me on LinkedIn. Look, you can follow that, and I post stuff there, and I'm tagged all over the place. You can find me pretty easy. Anyway, that's Will's. That goes to Will stuff. We'll get to Will stuff here in a second.
Will stuff is amazing.
There's the QR code that Carrie was talking about whenever we were talking about her volunteer stuff with B-Sides early on. I made one. I grabbed the logo off of the page. Look how easy that was. I stole it. Ooh, it shined. I think that means somebody clicked it.
Nice.
Good job. We don't know who did. We just know you like it. That's all. Yeah.
Quick facts. Last year was our 10th year. This next coming year in 25, we're turning it up to 11. And we had about 900 attendees last year, 800 to 900.
Awesome. Well done.
As part, I will very transparently say, because I'm proud of it, that part of those attendee numbers is that we have some local technology centers, which might be called VOTEX in other states, that they bring a busload of kids in the morning. And they come in and they get to experience a real cybersecurity conference where there's talks, there's vendors, lock picking, all of that. And then in the afternoon, they bring in another batch of kids. So it's really awesome that we partner with and support our local tech centers. And then B-Sides Oklahoma is backed fully by a nonprofit. So if we do have any dollars left over because we were amazing in how we did the con and our spending, we contribute scholarship funds back to local tech centers to help cover the cost of kids' certifications.
Excellent.
That and like 1 year we did like a video game theme, and we bought. It was cheaper to go out and buy arcade cabinets than it was to rent them. So after we were done with the conference, we resold some back to the organizers. And then we also gave a bunch away to like after school programs for like boys and girls groups that the kids don't have anywhere to go after school and their parents are working late or whatever. We put them all to groups. So we try to wrap everything back up in the community as much as we can.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thanks. It is a group effort. It is. We are very, very lucky in that we have a group of core organizers who have been there since year one, and we all get along well together. And if somebody has ideas and we don't agree with it, we talk it out. Or most of the time it's like, cool, that's the thing you're really passionate about. Awesome. I want to support it. Like last year, my thing was I really wanted snow cones. We were doing like a pool party theme, and I want a snow cone table. We're gonna do this. So
wait. I just gotta wait. Just hold on.
Yeah.
Snow cone. Okay. So look, I grew up in the Midwest, in Indiana. All right. Okay. And snow cones there were this gravelly crushed ice with like sugar syrup poured on top. Mm-hmm. Is that the kind? Okay. Next time, Carrie, when you come down, we're going to get something called a snowball, not a snow cone. It is shaved ice, which is delicate and light, like
ours
snow.
Is shaved ice.
Okay.
Yes, we have it's not like the ones that are like from the snow cones from the grocery store where it's like you crunch into it and it's like this is an ice cube and like all the flavor mingles together at the bottom in like this rainbow nonsense flavor. No.
Gross.
These were the soft, fluffy shaved ice with the like really good syrup. There's a company out of Tulsa called Josh's Snow Cones. This kid started a little snow cone shack when he was a teenager and has grown it into like the most amazing snow cones ever. So
I love entrepreneurs. My daughter is trying to dismantle my fence. I have a picket fence in my backyard. She's trying to dismantle my fence so that she can set up a roadside coffee stand because she is 7 and wants to make her own money. I was like, please stop taking mommy's fence apart. Please stop that. Don't do that.
Can we adjust your business plan to use your own resources and not steal others?
I was like, I love how enabled you feel, but can we just not? Thanks.
So if either of you two come to Tucson next time, well, Rachel will, if you, Carrie, come to Tucson, there's a food establishment here called EG's that makes a frozen drink type of thing that is just absolutely phenomenal. And you got to try those.
So being Arizona, was it like horchata, or is it like one of the mango drinks with the spicy stuff around the edges?
Spicy stuff.
It's hard to describe. Have you ever had an iced margarita? Right? Yeah. So it's nice and kind of slushy and wonderful.
I think you're going to have to DoorDash me one just to make sure. I can't really remember. Please, I'll give you my home address.
Yeah, well, non-alcoholic, but they have lemon, lime, all sorts of different wonderful flavors, and they're just fantastic. And especially when it's incredibly hot outside, they're absolutely fantastic.
You've got lots of fans in the chat.
Josh is putting in there. It's like between a shaved ice and a slushy.
Ooh,
like that.
Okay,
it's really good stuff.
All right, we're going to find a way to get
the lemon ones, if you put just a little bit of rum in them, they're really, really good.
Yeah. Where we host B-Sides Oklahoma, part of it is we can bring in our own bartender. So we contract with a licensed bartender, but that also means like we can buy our own booze at a not like conference center price. And that was kind of like one of our running jokes is like, oh, okay, well, no one's gonna like look at you or ask questions if you take your snow cone over to the bar.
When is B-Sides Oklahoma?
In April. I think we've got dates set for April 2nd.
For anybody else that wants to know how to get liquored up snow cones, there's the QR code.
We may do them again next year. I mean, we should probably run numbers and see how effective or cost effective they were. Either way, it doesn't matter. It was fun.
Well, there will be a demand now, so. Where's my snow cone?
Friday, man. It's Friday. I'm just saying. You know where my head's at. 5 o'clock hits, baby.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That's right.
Well, I think that's really, really cool, though, your observations about B-Sides in different parts across the country.
It is very cool.
And making those connections, because we really do need that throughout the industry.
I agree. I definitely agree. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make it to B-Sides Vegas. I don't think I can. Not this year. Aww. And that makes me sad. How am I going to see it? What? Do they record it?
No, probably not. It's like one of the things that I love too is that B-Sides Las Vegas is still kind of true to the mission in that they don't resell attendance data. And like we've had a lot of really hard hits, especially when we went virtual during COVID, and sponsors were legitimately like, what do we get back out of this? You're not giving us attendance data and we can't have a booth because you're virtual during COVID. What's the value for us out of our sponsorship dollars? Community support during a pandemic is what your value is. Do you want to be that company?
Right?
Or do you want to be like, no, you can't give us attendance data and it's COVID, so we're going to retract our sponsorship. I will not call out those people, but they know who they are and I hope they're listening. But no, we are very supportive of every organization. It was kind of surprising and a little hurtful when some of that stuff happened because B-Sides mission is community and there's a lot of privacy factors there. And I love that as big as B-Sides Vegas is, that they are still just staying true to that mission of it's for the community. And I love that they're still paving the way and setting the way with all that they do.
I love that too. I got to meet Jack Daniels.
I did too. He is a character. He came to one of our B-sides one year, and he was our keynote. And yeah, he is absolutely wonderful to talk to. And I hope he is just making the absolute best tiki bar in retirement.
Yes, absolutely. I was so excited. I got to sit down with him and chat for a little bit. And my favorite thing about chatting with Jack Daniels was none of it was technology related. We talked about gardening for like 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah. His keynote was kind of like about burnout for us in Oklahoma and just helping the community be aware of burnout and like how bad like alcoholism is rampant in cybersecurity. And like none of his slides were like even relevant to what he was talking about. They were just like silly stuff that he found amusing and just it was just something to put on a screen. And I'm like, I
can't wait to be that. I want to grow up and be. I'm just gonna put like all the really cheesy 90s cat calendar pictures up on my slide deck.
I'm going to have like the collection of historical memes and GIFs.
It's going to be terrible. But so it's going to be an entertaining that talk for me, the one when I finally hit Jack Daniels level of like experience is that's gonna be the one. That's the one everybody should show up to.
Like trying to talk about something serious, but then you've got like the 90s dancing baby behind you.
100%. I'm gonna be like, and this is Ally McBeal. Gather round and let me tell you of the story of the landline. Like it's gonna be fun.
Can I tell you about dial-up?
Loading netware with floppies.
The best time. The best.
My first computer used 5 1/4.
Wow.
I feel like we're processing and playing spades on like an old Zenith something running 5 1/4.
Nice.
So at my high school, we had batch card terminals.
Oh, wow.
That's
fun.
That's a thing you just said right there.
Yeah, well, it made great confetti. The best confetti. Stuck to everything, and it was just paper.
So Carrie, besides mitigating your own burnout responsibly, trying real hard not to become an alcoholic, and presenting like crazy because you are an amazing community outreach hearted type person, what are you working on? What you been doing? What you up to?
Oh,
too many things at once.
No, I'm very, very proud of myself that I'm taking this year as a little bit of a year to recoup. I have some talk outlines that I've made, but it's like it takes a lot of effort to go through and make really effective slides and slides that I'm happy with and how I want to present that content. So I've got that in the background, but for the past couple months, I've sunk like, I don't know, 60 hours into Hogwarts Legacy, slinging spells and killing spiders and like crucioing people. So that's probably like some mental health stuff. Honestly, some stuff taking care of me and thinking about what my next step is. And
wait. Are you console or PC?
PC. But both really, but mostly PC.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out where we can be friends.
On Steam, maybe.
Yeah.
We can be friends on Steam. And like you mentioned Epic, and it's like I play a lot of games on Epic, and like their weekly, we'll like do an Epic plug here. Like their weekly free game is really cool. So like we log into Epic sometimes too, but mostly Steam is where I try to centralize. It's like everybody figures out where their little central thing is. Like, are we going to buy all of our movies through Amazon or whatever platform, and where's our digital collections going to live? Because I don't know, Gen X millennials, we're used to like rebuying music over like 50 million times. So why not games and everything else too, right?
Right. So in 2016 in my area, 140,000 people lost all of their homes due to a flood from an unnamed storm. Just a rainstorm. Just sat for like 5 days. Everybody lost all their crap. One of the things that my husband and I used to do was we would, even if we listened to a book, like audiobook, we would have what we called the placeholder. So we would buy the audiobook, but then also buy the actual book to sit on the shelf and be like trophy. Right? And we did, and so we would read, and we loved to read. It was before the kids got big enough to keep us from reading. And we
Right.
also had a lot of other like media, like DVDs and CDs and all this stuff. And shoveling that stuff out of your house makes you rethink a lot of your life choices.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now it's just a digital situation. Like we'll keep a few books here and there, but no, not anymore, buddy. Not anymore.
Did you watch or read the Expanse series?
Uh-uh. I
It's
need to now.
it's really, really good.
I gotta write that down.
The author goes into some different concepts of like long-term living in space
Yeah.
that are interesting to like someone who was maybe born and raised in space. They cannot come back to Earth because Earth's gravity would literally crush their heads. And but there's some really cool stuff. And one of the things is like on a space station, they go into someone's quarters and they find a book. And they're like, everyone is limited with their physical cubic feet that they can bring into space. Why would you put like a 20 meg book in a physical form and use your space for that? And it was just like an interesting concept, like thinking about the future. It's like, why would you take up this physical space with a book?
Yeah.
When it could be like 20 megs worth of data.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing, So it's, but there's something tactile sometimes about turning pages.
Good.
And that's how like I tried doing. That was probably one of the most effective things for me studying for my CISP.
Yeah.
Like doing some old school studying stuff, like not like full on studying notes, but just the action of writing a note, like hard wrote it to my brain in a different way than just sticking it into RAM.
Yep.
And it was,
I'm that person. I'm that kind of learner. I have to rewrite what I'm reading. But that's also, I have some isms. So whenever I study something that is a written word, I have to read it out loud. I have to write it down. And then I have to conversationalize it with different folks so that anyway.
When I worked in state government, we all had to go through an HR training to figure out like our personality. And they like it wasn't like the INTJ or whatever it was, which is that's what I am. That's why that one came to mind first. But it was like your colors, like are you gold, green, blue, or orange? And everybody was supposed to just have their color chart displayed in their office space, their workspace. So if you go up to anyone, you can instantly see their colors. I'm like, okay, here's how I need to adjust my working process to be more effectively work with you, and vice versa. And it was a lovely concept if it actually was adhered to across the board.
Right.
But it's a good concept when you're working with people in any regards. And it's again bringing that back to human compassion and trying to meet people where they're at and understanding, you're not losing your own individualism when you adjust some of the things that you do for other people. You're not like denying your true self or anything like that. You're being a good human being.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to be considerate of others. And
it is. You got to be accommodating in some ways.
And that's how you do an effective IT department. Meet people where they're at, and how can you explain things to them in a way that impacts them and bring it back to them. Like if you're doing security training for people on a corporate level, throw in those little tidbits of like the have I been pwned? How can you use this also in your personal life? I like to use the cybersecurity triangle where it's like security, efficiency, ease of use.
Yeah.
And I went to do cybersecurity training for like a SCADA group, like went out to the oil field and in their little conference room, like behind the gates with all the pumps and I wound up doing a parallel that I wasn't sure how it would go over, but it was super effective. And the analogy that I use is, if you're doing your daily, would you drive your car on the highway if the brakes weren't working? If your seatbelt wasn't working, if your headlights weren't, windshield wipers, whatever, those things weren't working, would you drive your car? Now think about what if you're in NASCAR or Formula One or Indy and you get in a car that is designed for a very specific purpose. In addition to those things you have in a consumer car, you've got, emergency services, you've got a helmet, you've got a fire suit. So it's the same thing at work. When you're dealing with specialized systems, there are extra security protocols and like staff that might complain about, oh, you added security and it took my process from 3 clicks to 5 clicks. what's that trade-off? There has to be a trade-off. You want to turn your computer on, put antivirus. You want to get on the internet, what's your web filter? You want to get email, do you have filters on your email and protection there? So it's like understanding, training people that there has to be some type of compensating measure of control for every function. And like I had this old guy, it was like old Hanfield guy, and he's like, what do you use for virus at home? And I'm like, all right, buddy, I was effective with this one. It felt good. It feels good.
Excellent.
When you get feedback. Yeah. You feel like, okay, I drove this home with someone, and I found that way to connect whatever that analogy is that finally clicks for someone. Oh yeah, you mean the computer that I do all my banking from and I pay my mortgage? Oh wait, maybe, yeah, I should have some antivirus on my home computer.
maybe. Yes. But
excellent.
That's always a good idea. I love that. I love that message. That's a good one.
And I love how it always takes that back to the human level, right? Because that is always so much forgotten in our industry, because there's a lot of us knob twisters and stuff that you have to take it back to the human element. Change management. You talked earlier with change management, how so many people hate it. Well, why? Start to address that. Meet the people where they are.
Yep.
100%. Excellent.
No one likes the documentation piece, but the end goal is how it affects the client or your customer, whether that's internal or external.
Yeah. Princess also has a message. She says, Mom, hurry the heck up. I got to go potty. That's what she's doing over here. She's like nibbling on my arm.
Like, you're a tech household. You mean you don't have like the smart door with like a tag in her collar that she can just kind of do her own thing?
So I am also a cybersecurity.
Oh.
I assessed my risk and decided it wasn't working. It was fun. But before we sign off, look, you just inspired me to share something. So we were checking out. So Josh and I responsibly, and not in a creepy way at all, watch out for our neighborhood and what is connected to what is available via public IP and what sort of Wi-Fi things are out there. 2 of my neighbors have ovens that we're going to go watch how the signal gets stronger as we take a walk later. And then we are going to be like, we're going to knock on the door like Mormons. We're going to be like, have you heard the good word of cybersecurity?
Can I make you a pamphlet? I want to make you a pamphlet.
Would be fine with that. Yeah.
Productize this. Here's the cybersecurity pamphlet for your next HOA.
I'm like, don't do that. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh.
Anyway, be safe out there, you guys. Next week, July the 4th, it is Independence Day for the U.S. And because everybody should be taking a break, right? We're talking about burnout. Don't do that. Don't do burnout. Take your breaks, right? Take a break. If your company's not letting you have a break, hopefully they won't notice if you just kind of sit there and bask in the glory of a Friday after a holiday. So we're not doing the coffee table talks next week. What? Come at me, bro. I'm going to be lighting some fireworks off in the front yard. Okay. I got stuff to do, and it's fireworks. Will, what are you doing for Independence Day? Anything fun? You better not tell me that you're working, because you tell me that anytime I ever ask you what are you doing for what should be a day off.
Oh, welcome to education.
I know.
I'll be plunking around with things.
So, cybersecurity awareness. Keep in mind, July 4th, 50% of the country is going to be drunk, and another 25% is going to be in the ER, either for themselves or for a family member. So even if you're taking your time off, please have your mobile alerts.
Yeah. 100%.
Mobile alerts, enjoy your time, but get alerts somewhere, somehow, because this is what happens. Every malicious actors know that you have long weekends, there's holidays, you're going to want to take time off. That's when they're going to hit. That's when they're going to get the most time on a long weekend. Thanksgiving weekend.
For that one professional that I heard about this week that does not plug in their work phone when they go to sleep and put it next to their head, do that. Thank you. I'm not going to out you right here, but I'm real mad. All right. I'm just saying. I heard about an individual that does not plug their work phone in after hours and leave it, and they're in a role where they should, and they should have known that, and they've been there long enough. Anyway, all right.
Anyone who is not married has no idea what you're pointing to. Everyone who is married probably has a really good idea who you're pointing fingers at, I'm guessing.
Stop making my husband get up in the middle of the night. Thank you. You. Anyhow, so 2 weeks.
You're welcome for that opportunity to plug that in there.
Thanks. The next coffee table talk is going to be on July the 12th. It has links already on the Secure Nation page, and I don't have my moderator, so I'm clicking out of a window back into a window and making sure, there it is, my QR code is there. Go click the Secure Nation QR code and sign up for the event that's 2 weeks out. We'll see you then. I am going to assess all of my risks and not blow any of my fingertips off. Can I say the same for any members of my family? Probably not. But we're going to have a good time. Thank you, Carrie, so much for...
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, are you kidding me? This has been fun. I found a new best friend.
I know.
We should go have drinks or something sometime.
Can we be besties?
Yes, we can.
We can totally I've got friends that are working on different insider, social engineering ops with different fabrics. And I had a friend that said that he was working on something with nail polish that would interfere with facial recognition on cameras. There's some level. And I'm like, come to B-Sides, Oklahoma, and let's have a girls' slumber party. We can do our nails.
Yes, I want to be part of that test group.
Oh! I know, right? So if I hear more about it, absolutely.
You know what, though? It's going to bring back so much of this photo.
The kids are already doing that. I'm like, it's insane. I'm seeing the first wave of my childhood, teenage fashion coming back around. And it's please don't bring back low-rise jeans. Please do not. Okay, we're going. She's so needy. Ow, ma'am, that one hurt. She got the little part in the back of your right here. Ouch. All right. So anyway, you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Go check out the stuff. And yeah, thank you. And Will, thank you too. Everybody wave.